Impact of Kaizen. Ishikawa, one of the fathers of quality in Japan, the creator of the fishbone diagram and the 7 quality tools, stated it takes 3 years of small Kaizen to see significant impact in an organization. 3 years. Because we're not talking about huge fixes. We're not talking about pointing at the Pareto top issue and say, how come you don't have something for that? We're talking about trusting people to solve small problems. And it's like a 401k. Doesn't seem like if I contribute to it in 20 years, I'm really going to have that much money. But it's very similar, except the exponential curve starts at about 3 years. Now let me prove it. Okay, I just said that, didn't I? Chrysler Sterling Heights assembly plant. This is after Bob implemented this at 30, 40 boards across the whole process using this very method, unwritten, no rules, because he didn't have to do that. He could just say, here's how it's going to work, and everybody got it. After 3 years into the implementation of the system described in the presentation, the plant achieved its first perfect build in 40 years. And this is back to Volkswagen days. A perfect build is a car every 51 seconds for 8-hour shift without one lost unit. It was 3 years into the method that we were using. So if you ask anybody, how were you able to accomplish this perfect build? No one could answer it. It's impossible to answer with any kind of initiative because it was the result of thousands of improvements. It was literally slowly unclogging the drain and allowing the product to flow and trusting the people who have perfect knowledge about why it fails and solving their problems. Now this is when we took it down to Continental Motors. This is revenue per head per day, and this is equivalent heads with overtime factored in. So this is when we implemented this system from Chrysler with 10 Chrysler people there. This is 3 years. You notice something happening in the data? Right, Ishikawa, it takes 3 years, right? When asked by the president of Pinson Valley Heat Treating, which we implemented this at Pinson Valley Heat Treating, we took him down there to see the system. How do you explain the improvement? The Associate VP of Manufacturing, Mike Skolnick, stated the results are attributed to the implementation of continuous improvement system, meaning I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't point to anything. It's just the sheer weight of improvement that resulted in great improvement for the organization at 3 years. So coincidentally, or not, we saw it at Chrysler at 3 years. We saw it at Continental at 3 years. Gave complete authority to the process. I'm telling you, complete authority. Scary. So here are my observations. How much time do we have? There's plenty of literature and philosophy touting the importance of continuous improvement. However, there's very little information on how to conduct continuous improvement. The system described above is a structured, standardized improvement system. Hourly employees were highly measured. Their work expectations are defined by a stopwatch. What about the large management support organization? An added benefit of the system above is how the voice of the process drives the support organization. I contend when you see the support organization wringing hands regarding resource, you are optimizing this critical resource that typically operates at 60% efficiency. That's my feel for it. So you're driving that resource to solve problems, focused on top issues, coming from the process. We don't involve the operator as a gesture of goodwill. We engage the operator because they represent the process. They are the only members of the extended team that can hear the process speak. They know the multitudes of small issues clogging the flow of product. Since the only purpose of manufacturing organization is manage process, not design, a manufacturing organization has no chance to be great without the voice of the process driving the organization. What better way to overwhelm resource than the resource being driven by process? The good sheep. I view all people in an organization, including myself, as good sheep. Without a system, structure, or standard, the good sheep will wander the hillside. They will never, without a shepherd, the system, move from hill A to hill B. They're also far too busy with their job requirements to respond to random requests for support. Remember the first slide. Too busy to improve. Ironically, their work, which is designed to support the process they cannot hear, prevents them from responding to operators that can hear the process and are randomly requesting support. A bad work culture is nothing more than operators shutting down. When they do not receive support on a regular basis, they shut down. There are always a few rare individuals that can tolerate being ignored. Most people cannot endure the disrespect, and they return the favor. When a management member states, we need to listen, this is key, we need to listen to the operator because we need buy-in. They cannot be more off the mark. They need to listen because they don't know what to do. The buy-in needs to come from above. That just means they don't get it when you hear that. Respect for people is important for profit. It is not a strategy because we are trying to be good people. We need the gray matter of the organization. We cannot expect to employ inspired people without respect. Respect for people is a strategic business. That's too many words to say strategy. It's a strategic business strategy. Respect for people. It's not a nice thing. The transition's difficult. There is much earned distrust on both sides. Organizations will always respond favorably. Leadership is key. I'm going to skip the test. I got one more slide that's really cool. The system described above delivers results. I learned this system and the leadership required from Bob Bowers at Sterling Heights Assembly. From an article, The Root, April 16, 2016. Modern Renaissance man, Hyundai's new executive, Erwin Raphael. This guy's in his 40s. He designed the Chrysler 300. He's now the second in command at Hyundai. This is from the article. Erwin Raphael is U.S. General Manager for Hyundai's luxury Genesis brand. But Raphael notes that in some companies, people are unclear about their responsibilities and nothing gets done. At Chrysler's foundry plant in Indianapolis in 2001, he learned from African-American plant manager Bob Bowers how to harness the level of energy in a way that moves things along. I just discovered this article in April. I couldn't believe it. I've been talking about this guy all these years, and here it is. This guy's ready to take over Hyundai. And what does he talk about? That continuous improvement system. That's what he talks about. Raphael explains, expounding on a lesson that he says he learned then and still uses today. You got to assign responsibility and accountability to everything. That is key. Make sure there is a single person responsible for moving each needle, and that person needs to know they are responsible. Once you have that, people get things done. This is great advice for you in your career if you're managing. So here's your test. Please do that.